Welcome back to JoyTube. Today in this episode, we are going to see how Joseph eventually revealed himself to his brothers as they came to buy corn in Egypt while the famine persisted throughout the region. The story of Joseph teaches us that faith in God can never be ashamed no matter what. Joseph demonstrates how love and forgiveness conquer the most difficult situations, especially in the family. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more in-depth insight of the ancient stories of the Bible. Stay tuned as we continue with the part 2 of the last video as the drama between Joseph and his brothers unfold and the unveiling of the man who is the Prime Minister of Egypt. Judah continued his heated conversation with Joseph to let him understand that they are people of integrity and strong warriors and said, "Do you not know or have you not heard that our father Abraham with his servant Eliezer smote all the kings of Elam with their hosts in one night, they left not one remaining? And ever since that day our father's strength was given unto us for an inheritance, for us and our seed forever." And Joseph answered and said, "You speak truth, and falsehood is not in your mouth, for it was also told unto us that the Hebrews have power, and that the Lord their God delights much in them, and who then can stand before them? However, on this condition will I send your brother, if you will bring before me his brother the son of his mother, of whom you said that he had gone from you down to Egypt, and it shall come to pass when you bring unto me his brother I will take him in his stead, because not one of you was security for him to your father, and when he shall come unto me, I will then send with you his brother for whom you have been sureties." And Judah's anger was kindled against Joseph when he spoke this thing, and his eyes dropped blood with anger, and he said unto his brethren, "How does this man this day seek his own destruction and that of all Egypt?" And Simeon answered Joseph, saying, "Did we not tell you at first that we knew not the spot to which he went, and whether he be dead or alive? And wherefore speaks my lord like unto these things?" And Joseph, observing the countenance of Judah, discerned that his anger began to kindle when he spoke unto him, saying, "Bring unto me your other brother instead of this brother." And Joseph said unto his brethren, "Surely you said that your brother was either dead or lost. Now if I should call him this day, and he should come before you, would you give him unto me instead of his brother?" And Joseph began to speak and call out, "Joseph, Joseph, come this day before me, and appear to thy brethren, and sit before them." And when Joseph spoke this thing before them, they looked each a different way to see from whence Joseph would come before them. And Joseph observed all their acts, and said unto them, "Why do you look here and there? I am Joseph whom you sold to Egypt. Now therefore let it not grieve you that you sold me, for as a support during the famine did God send me before you." And his brethren were terrified at him when they heard the words of Joseph, and Judah was exceedingly terrified at him. And when Benjamin heard the words of Joseph, he was before them in the inner part of the house, and Benjamin ran unto Joseph his brother, and embraced him and fell upon his neck, and they wept. And when Joseph's brethren saw that Benjamin had fallen upon his brother's neck and wept with him, they also fell upon Joseph and embraced him, and they wept a great weeping with Joseph. And the voice was heard in the house of Joseph that they were Joseph's brethren, and it pleased Pharaoh exceedingly, for he was afraid of them lest they should destroy Egypt. And Pharaoh sent his servants unto Joseph to congratulate him concerning his brethren who had come to him, and all the captains of the armies and troops that were in Egypt came to rejoice with Joseph, and all Egypt rejoiced greatly about Joseph's brethren. And Pharaoh sent his servants to Joseph, saying, "Tell your brethren to fetch all that belong to them and let them come unto me, and I will place them in the best part of the land of Egypt," and they did so. And Joseph commanded him that was set over his house to bring out to his brethren gifts and garments, and he brought out to them many garments being robes of royalty and many gifts, and Joseph divided them amongst his brethren. And he gave unto each of his brethren a change of garments of gold and silver, and 300 pieces of silver, and Joseph commanded them all to be dressed in these garments, and to be brought before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh, seeing that all Joseph's brethren were valiant men, and of beautiful appearance, he greatly rejoiced. And they afterward went out from the presence of Pharaoh to go to the land of Canaan, to their father, and their brother Benjamin was with them. And Joseph rose up and gave unto them 11 chariots from Pharaoh, and Joseph gave unto them his chariot, upon which he rode on the day of his being crowned in Egypt, to fetch his father to Egypt. And Joseph sent to all his brothers' children garments according to their numbers, and 100 pieces of silver to each of them, and he also sent garments to the wives of his brethren from the garments of the king's wives, and he sent them. And he gave unto each of his brethren 10 men to go with them to the land of Canaan to serve them, to serve their children and all belonging to them in coming to Egypt. And Joseph sent by the hand of his brother Benjamin 10 suits of garments for his 10 sons, a portion above the rest of the children of the sons of Jacob. And he sent to each 50 pieces of silver, and 10 chariots on the account of Pharaoh, and he sent to his father 10 asses laden with all the luxuries of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and nourishment for his father, and to all that were with him as provisions for the road. And he sent to his sister Dinah garments of silver and gold, and frankincense and myrrh, and aloes and women's ornaments in great plenty, and he sent the same from the wives of Pharaoh to the wives of Benjamin. And he gave unto all his brethren, also to their wives, all sorts of onyx stones and bdellium, and from all the valuable things amongst the great people of Egypt, nothing of all the costly things was left, but what Joseph sent off to his father's household. And he sent his brethren away, and they went, and he sent his brother Benjamin with them. And Joseph went out with them to accompany them on the road unto the borders of Egypt, and he commanded them concerning his father and his household, to come to Egypt. And he said unto them, Do not quarrel on the road, for this thing was from the Lord to keep a great people from starvation, for there will be yet 5 years of famine in the land. And he commanded them, saying, When you come unto the land of Canaan, do not come suddenly before my father in this affair, but act in your wisdom. And Joseph ceased to command them, and he turned and went back to Egypt, and the sons of Jacob went to the land of Canaan with joy and cheerfulness to their father Jacob. And they came unto the borders of the land, and they said to each other, What shall we do in this matter before our father? For if we come suddenly to him and tell him the matter, he will be greatly alarmed at our words, and will not believe us. And they went along until they came near to their houses, and they found Serach, the daughter of Asher, going forth to meet them, and the damsel was very good and subtle, and knew how to play upon the harp. And they called unto her, and she came before them, and she kissed them, and they took her and gave unto her a harp, saying, Go now before our father, and sit before him, and strike upon the harp, and speak these words. And they commanded her to go to their house, and she took the harp and hastened before them, and she came and sat near Jacob. And she played well and sang, and uttered in the sweetness of her words, Joseph my uncle is living, and he rules throughout the land of Egypt, and is not dead. And she continued to repeat and utter these words, and Jacob heard her words, and they were agreeable to him. He listened while she repeated them twice and thrice, and joy entered the heart of Jacob at the sweetness of her words, and the Spirit of God was upon him, and he knew all her words to be true. And Jacob blessed Serach when she spoke these words before him, and he said unto her, My daughter, may death never prevail over you, for thou hast revived my spirit, only speak yet before me as you have spoken, for you have gladdened me with all thy words. And she continued to sing these words, and Jacob listened, and it pleased him, and he rejoiced, and the Spirit of God was upon him. While he was yet speaking with her, behold, his sons came to him with horses and chariots and royal garments and servants running before them. And Jacob rose up to meet them, and saw his sons dressed in royal garments, and he saw all the treasures that Joseph had sent to them. And they said unto him, Be informed that our brother Joseph is living, and it is he who rules throughout the land of Egypt, and it is he who spoke unto us as we told you. And Jacob heard all the words of his sons, and his heart palpitated at their words, for he could not believe them until he saw all that Joseph had given them and what he had sent him, and all the signs which Joseph had spoken unto them. And they opened out before him, and showed him all that Joseph had sent. They gave unto everyone what Joseph had sent him, and he knew that they had spoken the truth, and he rejoiced exceedingly on account of his son. And Jacob said, It is enough for me that my son Joseph is still living, I will go and see him before I die. And his sons told him all that had befallen them, and Jacob said, I will go down to Egypt to see my son and his offspring. And Jacob rose up and put on the garments which Joseph had sent him, and after he had washed, and shaved his hair, he put upon his head the turban which Joseph had sent him. And all the people of Jacob's house and their wives put on the garments which Joseph had sent to them, and they greatly rejoiced at Joseph that he was still living and that he was ruling in Egypt. And all the inhabitants of Canaan heard of this thing, and they came and rejoiced much with Jacob that he was still living. And Jacob made a feast for them for 3 days, and all the kings of Canaan and nobles of the land ate and drank and rejoiced in the house of Jacob. Thank you for watching. If you found this story inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe for more timeless tales. Remember, forgiveness has the power to heal even the deepest wounds.